One of Them Days is coming out this weekend. The comedy starring Keke Palmer and SZA, directed by Lawrence Lamont. The movie follows best friends and roommates Dreux, played by Keke Palmer, and Alyssa, played by SZA, who are about to have one of them days. When they discover Alyssa's boyfriend has blown their rent money, the duo finds themselves going to extremes in a comical race against the clock to avoid eviction and keep their friendship intact. The movie was originally scheduled to be released on January 24th, but Sony Pictures moved it up a week to January 17th for the 4-day MLK weekend. Sounds like a good business move for Sony. The movie is predicted to gross about 10 to 15 million on opening weekend and 40 to 50 million total at the domestic box office, according to box office insiders. That sounds about right for a rated R comedy. Some people already got a chance to watch the early screenings and the reviews are out. What are the early audience reviews and reactions to One of Them Days? Let's find out. Cades writes, first movie of 2025 and I can safely say it was so goddamn good, so funny, so energetic. I don't know if a Friday vibe was what they were going for here, but oh man, this is what it feels like, but with its own fun twists. Keke and SZA's chemistry was insane. They worked so well together and I need them in more movies now. For her first acting role, I can say SZA was amazing. 5 stars. Thick Bottle of Juice writes, went to a private screening of One of Them Days and it was so good. Funny as F and relatable. I'd go see it again next weekend. Jonathan Sim writes, One of Them Days is a somewhat likable comedy with solid performances by Keke Palmer and SZA, but your enjoyment depends on your sense of humor. For me, this movie never made me laugh once. It's a below average film that misses the mark for me. Sydney Broyles writes, Friday for the girls. They give the movie 3.5 stars. GC writes, fun and full of chemistry between the entire cast, but especially Keke and SZA. A truly good time as the entire theater was losing it. There's always more than enough room in my heart for joyful and lighthearted black films with a special place for the ones that focus on women and female friendships. It makes me excited to think about the genre making a big screen return with such a star-studded cast. A little hope for the future, if you will. And as always, shout out to Keke for completely embodying every role she's given from childhood until now. Seeing her on screen always feels like a warm welcome hug from a close friend who always has your back. 4 stars out of 5. Randy Jones writes, Keke is a movie star and had me laughing like a kid watching True Jackson VP again. Also, first time actress SZA shows great range, because if she were playing herself, she would have killed her trifling man by the 20-minute mark. Beacon writes, I just watched an early screening of the movie. It's very enjoyable. Don't expect a masterpiece because it's not. It copies elements from way better movies. Friday, for example. The chemistry between the actresses were great. The comedy and humor is not all that. It's kinda dumb comedy. Still, people that want something light after spending their money on Christmas should go and watch it. Maybe even feel identified with the characters. Jeremy Crabb writes, not nearly as bad as the trailer had me fearing it to be, but I'm not sure if that constitutes as a positive review. I'm a bit torn on this one, as it's not exactly a well-made film. Keke Palmer and SZA's strong dynamic does so much heavy lifting and make it pretty entertaining for what it is. The more over-the-top gags did get me, and I did find myself somewhat caring about the characters. Some scenes really feel ad-libbed and go on longer than need to, but for the most part it's pretty well-paced, particularly in the third act, which is where I found the film shine the most. That being said, there's a large chunk of this I just didn't find all that funny, despite there certainly being some style to how some of the jokes are presented. It's a mixed bag if ever there was one, but I think a lot of people are going to dig this, and I'm not too far off myself. The early reviews sound pretty positive. Sounds like audiences are finding the movie to be pretty funny, and the chemistry between Keke and SZA are fantastic. People are also comparing it to Friday. I like the Friday movies, and I might catch it along with the Wolfman over the 4-day weekend. Are you guys excited for One of Them Days? Let me know in the comments.
It's just one of them days when I wanna be all alone. It's just one of them days.